Well, hello, hello, hello. It is Maxine Phillips McKoy, the levelist woman coming your way. Now is the time for you to go on out. Tell your friends, come on in, chime in with us this evening. We have another special guest because all my guests are special because they bring nothing but themselves, the best of themselves. And not only that, they're sharing platinum nuggets with us. So you want to grab your pen and paper. You want to tell everyone to come on in, be a part of this phenomenal discussion that we're going to have this evening because we're going to hear from a woman, a young lady who won first place in 2020. 2020, and here it is 2022. So that just shows you how fast time passes. But as I want to share with you, Level Less is all about knowing your worth, advocating for yourself, and continue to succeed on your own terms. So I bring this program, Life Strategies, here so that we can bring individuals to come on and share the strategies that they have put in place for during their life that has helped to propel them and to move them forward in doing what they have been called to do. It gives me great honor to be able to do that. And not only that, we have an opportunity for them to be seen with what? 200 countries around the world, which is phenomenal. So I want you to sit back. I want you to take notes. And I also want you to become engaged. I want you to ask questions. So when we bring these guests on, they have such phenomenal information to share with you. So ask questions. They're here to share their knowledge with you. I have with me this evening Lori A. Jones. I am so excited about having her here. And you might say, well, why? As I indicated, she was the first place winner of a competition that I even participated in 2020 called the EEASI. And it's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about us learning what it takes to be that phenomenal entrepreneur. And so let's bring Lori up. Let's wait no longer. Let's bring the phenomenal. There she is. There she is. There she is. I told her I was going to pump her up. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Miss Maxine?
I'm excited to have you back on here with me. Last time we had Dava, and we'll bring Dava on another time so she can tell us about the things that she's doing. But the three of us, we were what? The winners of that competition.
That's right.
So it brings me great honor to be able to bring you back so that we can hear an update on all the phenomenal things that you're doing. I mean, I've been keeping up with you, but I want you to be able to tell our viewing audience some of the things that you've done. So before we get started, why don't you just tell us how in the world did you decide to come up with this Blackology? I absolutely love the name and I love what it stands for, but I'm going to let you tell the audience a little bit of more information about that.
Okay. So, Blackology stems from a combination of my culinary background as well as my passion for coffee. I was literally one summer just kind of hanging around thinking of names for a coffee company, which originally was going to be called the Coffee Snob. But of course, as I did more research, I realized how popular that name was. And I just started, pulling words together. There's a word generator online, and I'm like, black and coffee. Like, what can I come up with things like this? And I finally came to Blackology, which essentially is the study of all things black. But essentially, in this particular definition, it's the study of black coffee.
That is awesome. Black coffee. And as a little girl, I used to smell my mother drinking coffee. You wanted some, you wanted to sip it. And then like, no, 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 you're not old enough to have any coffee, right? Did you go through that too?
I did. But oddly enough, I do let my children drink coffee. They like
I
to
think
try
it's awesome. I think they should sample it, then let them make the decision if it's something that they're gonna want to gravitate towards or like, nah, I don't want to have any parts of it.
That's right.
You know, now there are some coffees that I know I cannot. It's a little bit too strong for me. I don't
Mhm.
forgot how when they give you that little deep dark is no more than just a little smidget of it. It's like that's
Mhm.
too strong for my palate.
Yep, that
I
is
have to have a little cream or something in it to dilute it. But we're not going to take away from that because coffee is so good and it's so rich, and I love that. But that's not what I want to talk to you about right now. I want to talk to you about the baker, the chef. I mean, I'm on internet looking at all of these phenomenal dishes that you're putting forth, breakfast looking like this, lunches were like this, and dinners like this. I'm like, I need to go to her house and have this gourmet meal. So what made you become a chef? What interests you to start looking into becoming a chef? And I know you've gone to culinary school and so forth.
Yep. So actually, growing up, my dad was the culinary genius in the house. So I picked up a lot of my skills and my passion for cooking from him. But I mean, at the end of the day, I love food. Food and I have a very interesting relationship, and it's about creating something new for me. Like I'm one of those people that get bored with food, so I always want to create something that's going to keep me excited about it. And I did decide to go to culinary school to get some formal training, but also, I mean, I've loved to do it since I was like 4 years old. So
That's beautiful. Now, from what I'm hearing, you're talking about 4 years old. I talk about innate abilities quite often because I'm a true believer that we were born with God given talents.
Mhm.
And it's just a matter of us going on and cultivating them or going on and using them and getting stronger at this already given genius that we are.
Mhm.
And so when you talk about being 4 years old, it was already in you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nobody had to teach you to do that. You wanted to do that. You had the urge to do that. So when you were at that 4 years of age and you hanging like under your dad and watching every move that he made and trying to help him out and taste this and sip that.
For the most part, yes. But I was also experimenting with things. I remember my first experiment was in a little pot with a bunch of grapes that I put on a grill. Don't know, but I
I
like
love
to
it.
test limits.
The sky is not the limit. Like you say, you just put it in a little pot, put it on a grill. You had some grapes in it. You just never know. I've been making grape juice or grape jelly. You just
Mhm.
never know. That's awesome that you had that curiosity and you didn't mind experimenting even at that age. So, what advice would you give some parents right now? And we'll move into your story a little bit more. But what advice would you give parents right now how they maybe can observe their child even at 4 years of age to see their interests?
So that's funny because I've made it a point to really focus on my youngest on the things that he's interested in. Pay attention to what they like. I mean, the things that they like, that they're passionate about at that age, they're probably going to gravitate to. That's my firm belief. Give them the wiggle room, the leverage to play around with that. Give them classes, allow them access to YouTube videos, or any kind of inspiration to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, if I'm hearing you correctly, is allow them to explore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now let's face it, we already know that as a kid, we might like this for this season and something else for the next season. And before long, we might even change our mind and we want to try something else. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you, Lori, I'm a firm believer. Allow them to explore because then they are really going to discover what interests them the most and their passion. And before you know it, it becomes a part of their purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that. But I also understand that you lost a job as a head chef. So tell us a little bit about that.
I did. When COVID started, I was the head chef for a wonderful sorority at UNC Chapel Hill. The university shut down, job shut down. That was that was a, it's a very trying time of no income coming in, figuring out life, emotional roller coasters and such. But that the freedom that I had in that position That was the only culinary job that I had to really have the freedom to just create whatever I wanted to create.
Mm.
And that freedom is really what made me love that job and the connection to the girls. They love food. I love food. I tried to create experiences for them. We would go to Paris one night. I'd have French music playing when they come in and get their dinner. We'd go to Africa another night. Indian food, some of everything, just whatever I was feeling that day. But that freedom to show people what food can be. It is nutrition for the body, but it's so much more.
Yeah, and it not only is nutrition, but it also can be medicine for the body. It can
Yeah.
allow the body to heal because we have to, maybe use the right combinations. And I know you're gonna be able to get into some of those combinations for us too, because you got to give it. I always say we have to give them a little surprise when I bring my
Mhm.
guests on. We can give them a little surprise. But the other thing that I love about you, Lori, is that with this entrepreneur opportunity that you had, you just didn't stop there after you were, awarded first place winner. So tell us a little bit about that journey that you've taken since then.
Whew. What a journey! What a journey! There have been highs, there have been lows, but I will say the one consistent thing that I've really loved and kind of really put my heart into is the community aspect. I have met so many people, and this business platform, again, just like as a being a chef and being able to be free to do whatever, Blackology also allows me to be free who I am. So it's interesting to hear customers say that the coffee is amazing, but it's also about the person behind the coffee. And it's like, oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
stop. Hey, wait. We have to stop right there for a moment. We have to pause. I always put a pause in there, put a pin in there, because you just hit on something that's very important. They say people do business with those who what they like, they trust, they believe in, and you just hit on a nerve because it's so important. They said not only did they like the coffee, but it was the person behind the coffee, that authenticness, being genuine, being community oriented. Ladies and gentlemen, are you listening? Are you taking notes? These are platinum nuggets that's being dropped. It's important that you pour yourself into what it is that you're doing, and people can relate to it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, Lori. So what else happened after that? After you got involved with the community and people rattling behind you? So tell me a little bit more.
So, I mean, we ventured out and got into Flourish Market downtown, selling wholesale products, as well as continuing our relationship with Nora Cafe. Had to pivot a bajillion times since then, and it's every day is a learning experience. There's nothing. I mean, we go into this, we have a plan, but it never follows suit with the plan that we put on. It's always changing. It's always changing. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. Sometimes, you know, these, I'm always generating ideas. But for instance, this beginning of this year was a really hard start for me. Like, I don't know where I was, or, things like that. But, as I started to kind of tell myself that it's okay for the plan to change. It does not have to be like this. I'm kind of coming up out of this again, and all these great ideas. We started off this year with larger bags of coffee because we kept hearing that feedback from our customers. We were doing 12-ounce bags originally. Now we're doing 1-pound bags, which folks are liking a lot more. And this is also this has also sparked another business idea. So once we really get going and get some staff on board, then I will go ahead and get the other business going and bring the two together, and everybody will see what the actual big picture is.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And I love the fact that you said big picture, because
Mhm.
when you put a plan in place, it should be what is the ultimate strategy that you have for yourself? taking steps to get ultimate strategy. And so that's what we want the viewing audience to understand is that there's short term and then there's long term. And so you have to know what that long term is, and then you start working and taking steps in that journey in order to get to that long term, that end result. That is so awesome. You also mentioned something here. You say the customers. The customer, you were doing 12 ounces, but the customer's feedback helped you to understand that the customers wanted something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to echo this for a minute. So, viewing audience, I'm saying pay attention to what the customers are saying to you. That's the feedback that you're looking for. If you have not had an opportunity to do a survey or a forum, you don't even need that. Guess what? If your customers are coming back to you because they love what you're doing, or they could be having a situation where they might want something different.
Right.
And so you have to pay attention. And so the customers are I would say, can help you pivot and make the decisions that you need to make. And then that way you're pleasing your customers, because it is called a customer focused. That's what we're supposed to be doing as business owners, being customer focused.
That's right.
So I love that. And you gave them the experience that they were looking for, and they gave you the feedback that you didn't ask for, but that you needed.
Right.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right. So tell me some more. Tell me some more. I know a lot of this stuff about you because I keep up with you.
So let's see. Oh, the holiday season was amazing. I got a little creative with the hot chocolate over the holiday season, and that was a big hit, a really, really, really big hit. So it's Blackology coffee and cocoa right now. But I mean,
that's good.
It's little things that spark creativity. I had no plan to change the packaging for the cocoa, nor did I decide I wanted to bring in other flavors. But I was in a store and I saw the tube. I was at Michael's. I saw the tube and I was like, I was like, I should get a few of these for her. And my kids were like, why are you buying that? I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm going to figure it out. But I'm just going to get a couple of them and see how. And then like the next day, that's when the cocoa and the tube came about. And that was our best-selling item throughout the holidays. So.
Wow. Look at that. So another platinum nugget that you just dropped. And see, I'm picking all these nuggets up and pushing them forward. Is that pay attention to even the environment. Mm-hmm. And just because someone else is doing what you're doing does not mean that there's still not a new something that you can start doing. Mm-hmm. If you just listen to the creation, listen to the atmosphere on what is telling you and guiding you. Because we get clues. We definitely have clues. And I heard you say that you can't stop thinking. You're always creating. You're always creating. So do you ever find yourself, or how do you find yourself keeping up with all the things that you create?
So originally, okay. All right. So
I just hit a nerve. Okay.
I'm that person that likes to write everything down in a planner, right? I get this awesome planner every year. I halfway use it, and I start off really good, and then like jotting things down in a planner or my notebook was how I started, and I realized I was not consistent with that. So there's at first I was using what is it called? An app called Otter on my phone where I could just talk to it. Right. And I was like, why do you need an app? The iPhone already does that. And I'm like, okay. So now I just voice record. It's so much easier to voice record than to type or write or anything else. And then go back and you can actually see your words or your notes. So.
Excellent. And believe it or not, that's one of the things that I share with my students when I'm getting them to become organized and use good time management, their calendar on their telephone and their voice recorder. Yep. You have right there at your fingertips. So why not go on and use it? Mm-hmm. So again, here's another platinum nugget for you all. Make good use of that smartphone. That's why they're called smartphones. They have all these different apps. And so play around with them, test them out and see what you can do and use them. And not only that, once you put it on the recorder on that smartphone, you can always send it to Otter and let Otter transcribe it for you. Mm-hmm. So you have that, that capability of doing it. Okay, so we talked about, you being involved in the community, but I know, one of the things that I love watching you is when you moved into your house, I think it was. I got a kick out of that. Let me tell you why I got a kick out of that. Because it reminded me so much of my hometown, West Virginia. And I thought it made me feel like I was back in West Virginia being a little girl. So tell the viewing audience a little bit about this beautiful home that you have put together, because that's exactly what you did.
Yeah. So we found through our church, we met some amazing people that rented us this really awesome house. And the house came with chickens. And that that probably really was the biggest selling point for me, aside from the house being beautiful. But it was a dream for me. Like everything about this house, the yard, the chickens, the farmhouse vibe, that's my vision board. Like the things that I have on my wall, that is my vision board, is this farmhouse life, not necessarily super big house or anything like that, but it's coming together. Like it's gradually been coming together, aside from the furniture and stuff that we moved in, but it's also teaching me a lot of lessons along the way. And the biggest lesson that I really kind of came to here more recently is that less is more. We're we're in a smaller house. We brought all of this stuff. Life has been, cluttered for a little while, and then as I'm going on, I'm realizing that we don't need all of this stuff. Our lifestyle is changing. Even I'm doing more pour over coffees in the morning. I'm outside watching the chickens or feeding the chickens, or out in the garden with my coffee. Like that's a whole nother experience or ritual. And we're composting now. We've now this year gone completely green with our cleaning products and our laundry stuff. Like it's these lifestyle changes for the better, but also I won't say minimalist lifestyle, but
Right.
just less is more. Like we just don't need all this extra stuff that we have.
Listen, another platinum nugget. Less is more. You just, help me, because I'm sitting up here looking around in my office right now thinking about, I have about 400 or 500 books. Do I really need all these books? And some of them are doing exactly the same thing. That's just in a different way, a different author, but they still pretty much some, because I'm about self-development and I'm about performance development and so forth, and career coaching. So all of this is geared around all of that. And so when you said that less is more, it's like, that's it. That's where we need to get to. Less is more. Because the COVID has not taught us anything, and we've been confined in our homes constantly. We are looking at all this stuff. And matter of fact, I was reading a book doing this, and it was called The Disruptor. And it was this one page, and I had to chuckle because it said, you buy stuff, you give away stuff, you get stuff, you move stuff around. It's like all this stuff. And what do you really need to be doing with all this stuff? Because you really can't take it with you. And, and I said to myself, that is so true. We have all this stuff that we're holding on to, and holding on to for whom? What's wrong? The other people don't want it. So I love what you said. Less is more. And that's even in our businesses. Less is more.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking I have to have all these different workshops. I have to all this and all this and all that. But then come to find out, you listen to the customer, and the customer said, we need more than a 12-ounce bag. We want more, because then we have to constantly keep coming to you. But if you give us that 1 pound bag, 4 more ounces will make a big difference. That, then you're satisfying them, and they know that you heard them.
Right. Right.
So from a customer perspective, that's what customers want. They want to be heard.
That's right.
They want to be heard. So that is so good. All right. So you lost the job of being this head chef. And what kind of, we always say when one door closes, the window of opportunity opens.
Time and time again.
Time and time again. Tell me about some of the opportunities that opened to you.
Wow. Let's see. Let's start with our church opening their doors for us to use space as a warehouse so that I could move the business out of my dining room, out of my kitchen, and actually get my house back. Um, which changed the way I slept at night, which changed the way my energy was at home because there was less clutter. Um, from there, meeting Maggie at Place at the Table and the relationships that have been developed via Place at the Table, as well as supporting each other and trying to help each other's businesses elevate along the way. The Flourish Market, that relationship, and getting our products into a store that's absolutely amazing, I must say. But also in alignment with our values. I'm starting to realize too that some of these relationships along the way help me define some of the values where I teeter tottered. Like, okay, is it this or is it that? No, yeah, it's definitely this. This is the type of community, the type of person, the type of business that we want to be associated with. And then also talking to intellectual minds that say that Blackology, it's not about the coffee. So what did they say? It was a post that I came to basically doing comparisons about a product.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really about the product. It's more about the feeling associated with it. And realizing that that's what we're doing. The coffee makes people feel a certain way. It helps network people. Let's see, what other relationships? I will have to say the best introduction or relationship along this journey has been therapy.
Okay, come on now.
Yeah,
Get that mental mind together. Yes.
I'm an advocate of this. I mean, I love talking to my therapist about business struggles or why something with the business makes me frustrated. And it all comes back to it's me. It's something that I need to do.
A light bulb goes on and say, wait a minute, I'm a little bit guilty of this. But you know what the thing about it is that you're open to hear it. You're open to listen to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Good. I mean, these things that you're talking about, it's like you allowed yourself to receive. Many times we give and we serve. But when come time for people to want to give to us or serve us, many times we pull back.
It was so hard.
Don't let it happen. But, I always say I'm a blessing to others. But when others want to bless me, it's like I feel guilty.
Yep.
You feel the same way. I feel guilty.
Really hard.
So we're not alone, everybody. Listen, you are not alone out there. If you're like us, you feel guilty, but allow the blessings to happen because you're blocking their blessings because they're wanting to bless you. Right. And Lori, we have a phenomenal fan base out here. We have Sherry listening. We have Renee, Gina, Hayla, Rachel. Some of these might sound familiar. Eddie, Frank. Listen, we have a nice fan base out here listening. So with the support system, I know that you and I, we belong to this mastermind group with Ryan Ray called YBE, that you're the Black entrepreneur. And, I know Ryan has been very instrumental in supporting both of us in our endeavors and in our things. So speak to the fact of having that support system. How has this been advantageous for you?
Support system wise, I don't know what I don't know. So having this support system of mentors to hold me accountable, push me past my comfort zone. Some stuff I still don't have figured out, but it's that accountability piece and their knowledge and their wisdom and the things that they see that we don't, because we're like, oh, this is my baby.
I own this, just like, oh, no, this is my baby. But sometimes we are too close to the baby. See our blind spots.
Or the Launch Raleigh program, like Dr. Woods would tell us, now when you come into this program, you're going to know if your baby is ugly or not.
And can you handle it if they tell you it's ugly? That's the other thing too. Can you handle it?
Right.
That's
It's
really
hard.
good.
Without it, I mean, without it, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be the people that we are. We wouldn't be able to serve our community. I'm not perfect by a long shot, but I hear the things that my mentors say, whether I want to or not. I hear it.
Yeah, and the thing about it, that's the whole purpose of having a mentor, And I mean, I have a couple of mentors because not every it's nothing wrong with having one or two mentors
Right.
because mentors have their own strengths, and their own innate abilities, But along with mentors, we also need sponsors. We need people who go talk on our behalf when we're no longer in the room. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have a problem with that because I know I'll speak up for you. That's first and foremost. And with this fan base that we have out here listening, I know you have a lot of people, a lot of backers. I love that.
You
So
know,
tell me about the education side of it.
so the education side we're getting into this year. So I actually recently did a Kiva campaign over the weekend to
Listen, I got ready to donate, and it would not even accept my donation. I didn't even realize that you'd already surpassed your goal that you were after. And it's like, okay, that's the reason why I couldn't donate.
but that was crazy. I mean, we raising funds to hire a person and move into our very own warehouse space was what the goal was. And, we did that on Saturday. Saturday, I got the email saying, okay, you can go ahead and promote. I posted it, and with 2.5 hours, that was funded, which just absolutely blew my mind. I was over here shouting and crying and
That was that blessing. That was that blessing. Once you let go, that blessing was there. That's all that was. That was.
but
I
what
Go ahead. Go ahead.
what I realize is that I need the extra hand so that I can get to these other pieces, like doing the education and getting out into the community more. Because I can't do everything. Can't do
No, we can't. We can't. We can't. I know I'm in the process of hiring a virtual assistant right now because I can't do all that administrative piece.
it.
You're the business developer, you're sort of the marketeer in a sense, so the marketing side is going to be happening shortly, and then the virtual assistant is coming on. So
Hmm.
as the business start growing, these are some other platinum nuggets, entrepreneurs or business owners or those of you who are aspiring to become business owners. You need to look at all aspects of the business.
Hmm.
And what aspects can you, as they say, delegate out, or can you source out and allow someone else to do it and let you do what you've been called to do? So I admire you for being able to do that as well. All right, so let's see. What else do I have here? You talked about experience. You talked about giving that experience. And I love the fact that you said when your customers come and they are enjoying the coffee, that you're giving them that, I call it customer centric. That's
Hmm.
what I call it because I do a workshop on 5-star customer service and I call it customer centric. And
Hmm.
so tell me about some of the customers' experiences and what have they said to you? I know some of them can be funny. And if you don't call any names, no names, we just want to hear some of the experiences that you have heard that people say, because not everybody is a lover of coffee and not everybody understand the different flavors of coffee. And so
Hmm.
you'll get a chance to talk to us a little bit about your flavors as well. Okay.
That's probably my favorite part. The I don't like coffee or tell me about your coffee. I talk about some of my favorite ones, which right now are the Peru Cajamarca, the Uganda Captroa, and the dark roast Sumatra homestead as well. So depending on where they are in their coffee journey or not,
Okay.
I know what coffee to start them on. Like there's a sequence of questions, like getting to know them. Do you like acidic coffees? Do you like darker coffees? What flavors do you like? And you got to push a sample. You can't sell something to someone without them tasting it.
That's right.
Um, and I love it because every time I have someone that says, "Oh, I don't like coffee," and I introduce them to a couple of different ones to try, I'm like, just trust me, give it 3 sips, 3 sips gets rid of that bitter taste and really lets you get the. And some of them will do it, and they still might not like it, and then others, but other ones, they immediately love it. But we also have the cocoa for the folks that don't like the coffee. So that introduction and letting people sample the cocos was a different one. It was hard to push the white cocoa at first because everybody was like, "What is it? This is milk." I'm like,
We're not used to cocoa being white.
right.
You used to being dark, a dark brown. Yes.
Right. But then you talk to them and you let them mix this and mix this, and you let them know that the white cocoa powder mixed with some of the coffee, you can make your own white mocha at home and things like that. So letting people sample has been the biggest thing. I've gotten a lot of love and praise about, like, this is the best coffee I've ever had. This is the best coffee in the Triangle. That's been awesome. But also almost all of the repeat customers have said, okay, when's the cafe coming? Because if you build it, we will come. So those are really good feelings. The funny ones are always when I get the messages about, oh crap, I forgot to order and now I'm drinking Folgers. This tastes like right.
I know. I used to be an instant coffee drinker. That just shows you that I couldn't stand the strong coffee. So I definitely, once you open that cafe, I'm gonna have to come so that you can do a private tasting test with me. So that my palate can adjust to what coffee is going to be best. I'm a milk chocolate type person, so
Oh, yeah, I've got
that lets you know where to start at with me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's so funny because customers will tell you exactly what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you ever put any surveys out for those who don't want to tell you upfront what they're thinking?
I haven't actually had to put a survey out yet.
Okay.
I've done like a poll in Instagram and got some good feedback, but I mean, almost every order somebody's given some feedback, that what their favorites are. I'm watching the trends, what they liked about the coffee, the flavors, all the little things, and that. Like what I will say from the community is that they have been exceptional with feedback. Everything from website things like, we love your website. Can we make a suggestion that maybe on the mobile format, fix blah 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 blah. That stuff is so valuable. Like,
And
so
it's manageable.
right.
And what you want to do is to be able to attract more and more people. So if your client and your customers are giving you the feedback, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for telecommunication, and I tell you, with the feedback that we would get from the customers, it wasn't always taken. It was not always reused and repurposed. And then before long, it'll take you out of business when you don't listen to the customers, because those are your buying customers.
Right.
Those are the ones that's going to keep you in business and keep you moving forward with their ideas. So that's another platinum nugget. Again, listen to the customers. So what other strategy have you put in place that has helped you to move forward? What would be the one, I would say, aha moment strategy that you found yourself that you had to put in place and like, wow, this has truly made a difference?
I would say actually more of the demos recently have been, the demos allow me to talk about the different coffees, but also show different brewing methods. So for instance, our homestead, which a lot of people love, is from Myanmar. And what people don't know about Myanmar is that they're trying to change their image. So they are going from producing drugs to trying to make better use and create a product that can bring money, but like, coffee is new for them. So helping them change their image and helping them achieve some of their goals but the homestead is amazing. It's amazing coffee.
That's good. That's good. Well, we have to listen next time because I want you back on. I'm gonna tell you that up front. And when we come back on, audience, I want you to be ready because she's gonna do some demonstrations for us. She's gonna give us a lesson on coffee so we can appreciate all that coffee has to offer, and even the benefits to the body that coffee brings. Many times we look at things as being negative. We hear negative things about coffee, but there's also some positive things about coffee for the body as well.
Mhm.
So, what you haven't gotten a chance to talk about are your different flavors.
Yes.
I saw your eye lit up, your face lit up when you said, "Oh, that's my favorite." Come on, let's talk about some of your favorites and some of your flavors.
So some of my favorites, one is going to be our Bloom Here coffee. Our Bloom Here is a Laotian coffee that it's our lightest roast. It's a light to medium roast. So that's really good for a beginner, but it's a white grape, butterscotch, and herbal flavor profile.
Ooh, that sounds good. Butterscotch right there is so me. I love that. Okay.
And it is a coffee that gives back. So a portion of the proceeds go to the organization Bloom Here, on which I serve on the board, serving women that have experienced human trafficking get back on their feet. Now Homestead is going to be like a step up from that. That's a really, really, really popular one from Myanmar. It is the cocoa, honey, and spice flavor profile.
Mm.
Super, super, super smooth. I haven't seen anybody yet that doesn't like that one. Our Peru Cajamarca is a medium roast. That one is a new one that we released on Martin Luther King Day. And it is a orange, cocoa, and walnut flavor profile. Yeah, it's a nice.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I know which ones to introduce you to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still love our Indonesian Sumatra, which is it's a dark roast coffee, but honestly, it has served our lighter roast coffee fanatics as well as our dark roast coffee. But it's a cocoa vanilla flavor undertone, so that one's a pretty universal coffee there. And we have other ones that bring awareness to businesses like the Disruptor, bringing awareness to the Mia Lamont image program, as well as the YBE, the Year of the Black Entrepreneur, which brings awareness to the Year of the Black Entrepreneur organization. So there's a lot of coffees out there, but those are some of my favorites in particular. And the cocoa with coffee is another one that's one of my.
Well, you're gonna have to name one after me because Levelers is gonna be the cocoa type thing. I like the milk chocolate, so
Mm-hmm.
got to go with that. Know your worth, advocate for yourself, and continue to succeed.
Yeah.
So that's what that Levelers is about. You talked about the different flavors and the blends that you're doing, and I love the fact that you mentioned that some of the proceeds go to worthy causes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another platinum nugget for business owners to start thinking about. Yes, we are here to make money. We do need to continue to live or whatever, but there's nothing wrong with giving back to the community
Right.
and giving back to the world, because, not only do we have, needs here in the United States, but there are needs all around the world as well that we need to take into consideration. And there
Right.
are things and not only that, Lori, we can always pull together. It's
Right.
not like we have to do a silo and we by ourselves. Let's come together collaboratively and do some things in order to be able to give back as well.
That's right. That's right.
I love that. I love that. I love, love, love that.
And,
You have done some. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
and just know that too, that everybody might not understand your giving back, especially when you're a new business. Everybody might not agree. They may not understand. But if when it comes to you the way that it came to me, go for it.
You'd be willing to give back because when you give, the universe returns it tenfold or 100-fold, and you never know whose life you're touching. I'm all about transforming generations and leaving legacies. So even if I'm not a coffee drinker, but if there is some way that I can still donate, like I was going to donate to your need of you being able to get into a warehouse and sell the coffee. I mean, that would have been my way. Not that I'm not totally against coffee. It's just that I haven't had anyone to introduce me to the right flavor, like I have the person who's sitting in front of me right now will be able to do. So I'm looking forward to that. So, I know you mentioned about the warehouse and now that you'll be able to, put your products in the warehouse, but you also gave a little hint. I caught it, but you gave a little hint about maybe an upcoming open coffee shop.
Yep, we are slated for February 2023 as of right now, in Southeast Raleigh, right beside the Southeast Raleigh YMCA. So we have our letter of intent. I believe they're groundbreaking this spring. So we'll see how all things go with this project.
Yes, well, we are. Well, hey, we're sending positive vibes up that
Mm,
all is going to go well and everything is going to be on time and everything is going to be organized and in place like it was ordained to be, and that the assignment that you've received in order to do it.
mhm,
I know enough about you knowing that it's already been downloaded to you and
mhm,
you wrote it out. And now you planned it out, you strategized it, and now you're just going to put actions in place to make it happen.
mhm.
So, with you becoming the entrepreneur that you are, and things have truly taken off after you became the winner of that, the easy opportunity, and your blessings have been here tremendously. What else do we see Lori doing?
Lori has been blossoming as a person individually. Lori has been blossoming and becoming more confident and more comfortable in who she is, because it's okay to be who she is.
That's right. That's right. And that's so good that you say that, because many times we shield behind, and we don't always come forth and be who we are actually created to be, because we feel like we have to be something somebody else wants us to be, or another business is going this way, so we have to go that, or we have to do this, or we have to do that. But in actuality, we just have to be ourselves.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you say that Lori is blossoming and being confident and being who she is and what she's been called to do.
Mhm.
And look at what it's doing.
Yep.
You're level-less. You're level-less. I'm deeming you as level-less tonight. Because what it is, you know your worth,
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
advocating for yourself, and you are continually succeeding on your terms.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what level-less means. A lot of people say, what is level-less? It's no levels. You don't have to aspire to become a particular level. You just continue to achieve because you've been given these abilities. I love it. I love it. I love it. So as we start winding down, what are some of the other I would say strategies? Don't have to be big strategies, but like you said, less is more. I love that strategy. But any other more nuggets that you like to drop?
Let's see. The less is more. There is no such thing as a goal that's far fetched or out of reach. I don't care how nuts it sounds. If it's what I desire, or what's been brought to me, that's what the goal. That's what the goal is. It's been some wild stuff that's manifested that people are like, no, there's no way, but there's no such thing. Just go for
Go for it.
what you want, because if you don't believe that you deserve it, it's not going to happen.
They say what? Conceive in your mind, right? Believe in your heart, and you will achieve it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I truly believe that as well. But you have to go in and see it. See where it is that you're trying to go. I love that. I love that. So what else? What other nuggets that you had to put in place?
Take time for self. I was working when I was working with my mentor Mia. I mean, she kept saying, she was like, "Girl, you gotta get some self care." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. Yeah, you gotta get some self care. Self care makes all the world a difference, because if you're not okay, then your business is not okay."
That's right. That's so true. That is so true. I tell many of my clients about the career coaching piece. I said, a career is a lifetime,
Mhm.
but a life is a project.
Mhm.
Because a project, there's a beginning end and there's an end to it. So
Mhm.
there's a beginning and an end. And that dash in between that beginning and end is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Is what legacies you're going to leave, is what accomplishments you've had, is what people you've touched. Did you mentor someone? Did you support someone? Did you give back? All of that is that little dash. And that's your life.
It's funny you say that because with the passing of Betty White and Sidney Poitier recently, the legacies that they left behind, especially Betty White, and I mean, like
Yeah.
that is how you want to be remembered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the beautiful thing about both of them is that they received a lot of those accolades before they left this earth. People were able to share it with them. And I thought, that's why you give people, they call them roasting, but it's a good roast.
Right.
They're
Right.
not negative roast.
That's right.
And I love the fact that when people have these milestone birthdays and people come together and they give them the accolades about how they've spoken to their lives and what they've done. I never will forget when I just watched this documentary on Sidney Poitier and all the things that he did and all the people that he touched, that no one ever knew that he did these things because he wasn't the kind of person who felt like you got to put him in front of everybody's face.
Mm-hmm.
I know we didn't have all this Facebook and all of that way back when, but
Mm-hmm.
still, as a famous actor, he could have made it known, but he didn't.
That's
All
right.
the things that he did they were hidden in his heart that he helped people.
That's right.
And I love that. And I love that that's what you're doing too. You're doing a lot of things behind the scene that people don't even know about. Like you said, if you hadn't mentioned about some of the proceeds going to these the communities, if you don't read that in your bio, or if you don't go to your website and read about it, how are we going to know?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes not only you telling it, but it takes other people to share it as well.
Right.
So that's another platinum nugget. Share these great things that people are doing. We hear about all these actors and actresses, but they already have all this huge fan base. But what about, I call it just standard people?
Mm-hmm.
Doing great things.
Mm-hmm.
They need the same type of, accolades. They need the public recognition. And that's one of the things that I pride myself in doing with this Life Strategies platform that I've been blessed with, is to bring individuals on so that the world can have an opportunity to know that they are a pearl out here.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's my middle name, Pearl.
Girl, uh-huh.
Did you catch that? But the beautiful thing about that is that I didn't realize the significance of that pearl, because we all go through grit and we all go through grind. We all have challenges that we must, jump over. I didn't realize that the significance behind that name Pearl, and even where it came from. So I say to you that all the things that you're doing, you have definitely become a gem, become a diamond in this world by being who you are and by doing what you do and by giving back and not expecting anybody to just say, push it forward. You're doing these things because you truly believe that it's needed. And I love the fact that you have been transformed into this beautiful person that you are. And then you no longer have to hide behind anything because people have accepted you for you.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. So, what else do you have that's coming up that we need to know about? And how can we be of service to you?
Well, stay tuned because, like I say, I have another business that I am working on. Don't know yet if I'm going to release summer or fall, but it's another business. And you guys know me; I'm rather transparent for the most part when it comes to business ideas and plans and things like that. Because by putting that out there, that allows one energy to come in, but also for people to help you along the way and to be involved. So that aside from that, share our website, our Facebook, Instagram at Blackology Coffee Company. Order some coffee. Once it warms up a little bit, come on out and sample some coffee. Yeah, come on to the Black Coffee Life.
And let's not forget now, you do bake.
Yes, I do. I have been doing the baking, and the cooking, and you'll when the other business comes, you'll understand why.
Okay. All right. So we get a chance to sample a little bit of the other side to you. Because
Mhm.
I've been looking at those breakfasts that you be doing. It's like, I can eat that.
Mhm.
I'm allergic to a lot of preservatives. I'm allergic to anything dealing with MSG. So I have to be very careful about, what I ingest. But I'm like, she's a chef. She understands. She'll be able to cook what I need.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we could be looking forward to you say, what do you say? 2023.
Hmm.
They have a standalone location, a brick and mortar for us to be able to come to and indulge in some of this fine coffee and other cuisines that you're going to be offering. I have a feeling it's not just going to be coffee, but that's okay.
It'll be a cafe. It'll be a cafe.
It'll be a cafe. Well, good, 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 good. Well, Lori, I tell you what, I have truly, truly, truly enjoyed this conversation. I feel like we're sitting in the cafe, just having a talk. All we need is the coffee cup in front of us.
Hmm.
But also, ladies and gentlemen, please go to her website. Let's put her website back up there. I want you to go to her website and I want you to purchase. And not only coffee does she have out there, but she has other things in order to help you to enjoy the coffee. So she has a little mini shop out there on her website. If you need to know about the tea kettle or the tea, the container that you're going to put the coffee in and the cup that you're going to put the coffee in, all of that great information is out there. And I didn't see your shirt. I didn't see your shirt. So I don't know if you have the
No,
Black
I'm
shirt on tonight.
I'm
Tonight.
not rocking Blackology today. Today I'm rocking Church is my club. Hmm.
Okay, all right. So she does have a T-shirt that you can purchase as well. So go on and patronize her. Let's show some love. Let her continue to move forward in doing the things that she's doing. So as we close, Lori, give one final nugget that you want to leave them with.
Be unapologetically yourself, and don't do it for the money, do it because you're passionate about it, and the money will come.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have truly enjoyed having Lori here with me this evening. She has brought great wealth of knowledge. She has given us some platinum nuggets to live by as far as an entrepreneur, and also the fact that we have such a young woman sitting before us who has truly taken over the coffee world and presenting to us such wonderful flavors for us to enjoy as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to Lori, engage in a conversation. I mean, listen, she just talked about she can also put your business name on a bag of coffee. So that's another way of promoting your business as we promote Lori. So I'm going to say to you, this is Maxine Pearl Phillips McKoy. I believe in you and I trust you believe in yourself. Until next time.